right. Cool. So, let's get started. So, everybody make sure, like, unless I'm asking questions, you're welcome to unmute if I ask questions. Anyone wants to, you can throw questions in the chat. I will throw the chat up right here so I can see it. And cool. And if my team can keep all the guests muted, as Andrew.
I already asked her to do that.
Perfect. Thank you.
We're on top of it. You just run the thing and we've got everything else.
Okay. All right. So DoorGrow, we are the world leaders in property management growth. Nobody moves as quick as we do. Nobody's as good as us. Nobody has as many case studies. And normally in the past, I would not have said that, but I've been hard at work, kind of quietly at work over the last several years, just really revamping everything in our program, along with Sarah. Sarah is my wife, brilliant operator, CEO of the company, and
co-owner
and an owner of the business. I was getting to that. And she's dramatically impacted the business as well. And just to qualify her real quick, she had her own property management business, 260 units. She managed it remotely from here in Austin, Texas. She managed properties in Pennsylvania. These were C-class properties, like difficult properties. She was so bored, she came to work in DoorGrow initially because she was so part-time in it with 260 units. Oh, my screens are having problems.
It's sharing that screen.
I know, but I lost the window.
I know, but can you just move that there?
No, this isn't the sharing window. Hold on.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Can you just move it there?
I think the cord's loose. Okay. Technical difficulties. Let me see if I can get this fixed real quick.
All right. Well, Anyway, I'll finish up then.
Okay.
So I was managing properties, 260 at the peak. I was part-time in my business. I had one part-time boots on the ground assistant who was working and helping me out. And I had a lot of time on my hands. I had everything really streamlined. I had over a 60% profit margin in the business every single month consistently, like month over month. And 60% was not a great month. That was like a bad month for us. And I started doing operations here at DoorGrow, and I realized I really, really love coaching. Like I enjoy it so much. I love seeing like our clients upgrade themselves and upgrade their businesses. And I love seeing the impact that we get to have on people's lives and on people's businesses and their teams, and just everything that we impact ends up looking so different. And I really, really enjoy that.
All right. So let me see if I can find the slide deck window. I don't see it. So I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to reshare this. All right, let's try this again. There. All right. All right, there we go. And share screen and there. Okay.
Yeah, you're good now.
All right. Hopefully everything keeps working. All right, so let's get into this. We're going to move really quick. And so real quick in the chat, some of you mentioned where you're at, how many doors. Go ahead and comment. Just say biggest challenge and whatever your biggest challenge is. If your biggest challenge is getting more doors, or you think it's getting more leads right now, or something along those lines, let me know. You're in the right place. That's what we're going to chat about. A lot of you might not want to add more doors right now. Maybe it's getting painful. You're adding doors at a nice click and it's starting to hurt. It's starting to make your life personally worse as a business owner, right? The more doors you add, even though you're making more money, you feel stressed, then maybe it's operations you need. Maybe you think you need processes. That's what I usually hear. We need better processes and more processes. So go ahead and comment what your biggest challenge is in the chat. I want to make sure that I tailor this to you and what you need. And then then we'll go ahead and move forward. All right. So first, we've had a lot of success. I don't expect you to just believe whatever I say unless there's evidence. And I don't think anybody has as many case study videos. It says 62 right here. I think we've broken 100, or we're like about to. We just stack videos constantly, and we're just capturing these during calls like this with our clients. And we've had, we've helped people from startup, which I'll show you some examples, all the way up to companies with hundreds of doors, break the 1,000-door barrier. And we've got clients that have over 1,000 doors that we're helping them to get things more optimized so they can crush it. So, okay, so this is, and you can scan this with your phone if you want to pull up our YouTube playlist, or just go to doorgrow.com, or go to youtube.com/doorgrow and click on our playlist, and you should see our case studies, and we just stack them in there. All right, give you a couple of quick examples so that you can hopefully believe what we have to say. And if you are on the call, please make sure you're muted. Okay, cool. All right. So Kent, hard man, he's actually on this call, Kent. So Kent, you don't mind me saying this, hopefully. He just said all this on our podcast episode. He's like, thumbs up. All right, thanks. So he was like, when he first came to us, he was dealing with a lot of life stuff and struggling to get out of bed. And he's now motivated and crushing it. He went through our rapid revamp program, which I'll tell all of you about, to clean up the whole front end of his business, to optimize it for growth. And then he started working actively in our growth accelerator on adding doors. And in 6 months, this is the actual data that we tracked on Kent when he submitted his check-ins, from zero doors to 105 in about 6 months. And the first 100 doors are the hardest. It's harder. It's easier to go from 100 doors to 1,000 sometimes than it is to go from 0 to 100 if you do things correctly. So some of you may remember those days when you were in the 0 to 100 door range, and it can be pretty rough, right? So yeah, so Kent, I messaged him this morning, said, Kent, you're a badass. I sent a screenshot of this data. So Kent, you want to say anything real quick about any of this? People are like, I don't know if Kent's real, so maybe you should talk.
No, I'm real. I'm here. No, I'm an open book. Yeah, no, just joining DoorGrow and putting in the work is the formula. That's how I got where I had to be. And, DoorGrow is great with everything they offer, but outside of that, just on a personal level, just great group of people. I'm extremely happy that I came across and that we're partnering together to grow in property management.
And you've gotten to know me a little bit. What would you say about me from people that go, who's this crazy guy that's marketing all over social media and whatever? What's your perception of me, having been in the program and being coached by me?
Just right off the top of my head, that you care about the people you're working with and care about this industry, which is really in line with, how I look at what I do. And I think that's why it's a good partnership.
Awesome. So we have a great system. I need great people. So hopefully those of you on this call are great people, and somebody that really wants to be great, somebody that like inherently can be a success. They just need to get a system. And that's what we've strived to create at DoorGrow, is to make sure that there's a system for all of you to be able to get what you want. But we can't do the work for you, right? And Kent, he's badass. He did the work. We pointed him in the right direction. He did what we asked him to do, and he crushed it. Appreciate you, Kent. All right, cool. Will Frazier, man, this guy is so charming and charismatic. I love Will, one of our clients. He's like an inspirational speaker every time he makes a video for us or talks. Kent, Will, yeah, he started back in 2022 with 25 doors. And team, can you make sure you have all the windows open and mute everybody that doesn't have a red microphone on them when you scroll over it? Thanks. All right. As of 9/11/23, he had 152 doors. he implemented the neighbor strategy. And so here's Will with Brandon and Mark, they're in the same market, actually. They cover the same area, but they cover a different niche. And in the neighbor strategy, we teach how to get doors. And these clients, they're helping each other grow their businesses. Neighbor strategy is one of our strategies. Super awesome to get doors from other property managers that are super easy to close, right? Warm leads. He upgraded his mindset. He revamped his pricing. He got clear on his ideal client. And he's dedicated to avoiding the cycle of suck, which I think I'll touch on. Yeah, he started with 25 doors when he came to us. He's at 127.
No, he's at 152.
Oh, 152. Right. All right.
Adding
This is my last check-in, but Sarah knows more than me, and she created this part. All right. Cool. Michael Sullivan.
Can we take just a second?
Yeah.
So with Will, so I think his growth is really impressive, but what I think really speaks volumes about Will is if he wasn't so dedicated to choosing and signing on the right clients, he would have been way bigger than he was. But he's really, really picky about the clients that he takes on.
Yes.
Not just the property, not just what kind of tenant, not just like what kind of client. He's like, this is the ideal client that I want. And if they're not committed to growing generational wealth, that's not the client for me. So like being a landlord and just owning a property, that's one thing. But he's like, I want my clients, I want to be able to work with my clients and help them build generational wealth for them, for families, for generations to come. And if they're not on board with, like, if that isn't like really, really what they're striving towards, I will not take them on as client. So he could be so much bigger, like, but he's very, very selective about the type of client that he takes on so that their values are very, very aligned. And he, like, for that reason, he's super stable. He's got consistent growth, and he doesn't really lose clients, like, ever. Once you're a client of Will's, like, you're a client for life.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that he does really well.
Yeah, because of that, and this is something we coach all our clients on, because of of our clients avoiding the cycle of stuck and taking on the right clients. Their operational costs are typically far lower on average than anyone else. So those of you that are not DoorGrow clients, you might be wasting too much operational cost on your current clientele. And so, yeah, our clients, we help them sometimes fire clients in order to grow faster. So Michael Sullivan, man, love Michael. So do you want to talk about Michael?
Yeah.
I'll let you talk about Michael.
Yeah. Oh, I love Michael. So Mike came to us already with a healthy business. He already had over 100 doors. Like, he got out of that barrier really well. What I think one of the biggest changes that Michael had gone through, it's kind of like a 3-part. So he more than like doubled at this point the number of doors that he had when he joined. He also dramatically increased his revenue and his profit margin. So he's not just adding doors and like losing money along the way.
He was firing doors.
He's also very particular about the clients that he takes on. And he's now working with only A-grade properties. If it's not an A-grade property, he passes on it. He's like, well, this is just not what I want. He also made a lot of changes to things like his pricing. He made a few shifts on his team. He actually came to us, and he says, "Oh, well, I'm the operator in the business because I love operations." And we did an AI assessment with him and realized he does not love operations. He thought he did, and he's like, "Oh, this is what I have to do because I own the business." He actually loves sales. He does not love operations. So he was able to let that piece go and let other people on his team handle the operational piece so that he could actually like thrive and do the things that he really enjoys in the business. And by making some of these changes, he reached over, now this is older data, but he reached over a 50% profit margin. My bet is that right now he's well over 60%.
Yeah. So yeah, Michael made a lot of shifts in his business, and it's been really great watching him grow. Am I supposed to read this part?
I think people can probably read.
They probably read it already. All right. But yeah, Michael's had a great experience.
Hopefully you guys can read.
All right, so Mark and Brandon at Kodiak. So, these images are from our tribe meetup that we just recently did in Salt Lake, meeting up with some clients, and it was super fun. We went on a hike. So Mark and Brandon, man, when they came to us, they, they had maybe about 30 to 40 units, and they were trying to start this business while doing their day job. Like they both had jobs. Like one was doing, I think, IT, and I can't remember.
Like he worked for in cybersecurity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they had day jobs, and their goal was to be able to quit their day jobs. They were like, they've been lifelong friends, and they were like, we want to start a business together. And they had some investments, and so they were able to quit their day jobs, and they broke the 100-door barrier. They just recently, they took a 2-week vacation in July and were able to enjoy the vacation. And how many of y'all have not been able to take a vacation in the last year or two, or maybe ever, right?
And they were completely out, like they go camping. So they were in the woods, like no cell service, no nothing. And they were actually on a call, like I think 2 weeks after this vacation. And they're like, well, we were just out for 2 full weeks. And then the other weeks in July, one of them was on vacation and the other one was in the office. And then the last week, the other one was on vacation. So both of them were able to take off like 3 full weeks in the month of July and actually take vacations and know that their business was really solid, and not, they weren't going to come back to like this crazy mess. Everything was really running smoothly. They said they had no issues at all, which is amazing.
So they went through our full rapid revamp program, pricing, like we cleaned up a lot of things in their business, and they made a lot of changes, but they were growing their business while working a day job. So they put in the work. They were doing work on the weekends, and they eventually were able to quit their day jobs, which was like a big milestone. We celebrated with them, and this is their full-time gig now. And that first 100 doors was the toughest for them. But it's going to be a lot smoother. They have a lot more bandwidth, a lot more time, and they're starting to already look at getting new team members to take big weights off of their plate so that they can focus on other stuff. So now a lot of you might be bigger than some of these companies. So, and you might be able to grow even faster. So here's an example with a company called Foundation. This is Brian Bueller right here in the Hawaiian shirt. And, James joined our program, and we worked with James, and we eventually told him, you need an operator, and he hired Brian. And Brian, their first year, they were able to add 226 doors with DoorGrow. Then they brought in Brian. Then Brian, partway through that next year, added Brad, a BDM, and Brian's an operator. So he took over that whole arm of the business. James was like, I don't want to deal with this. I'm doing real estate stuff. Brian took over the property management business, directing that, and then brought in Brad. We're like, you need a BDM if you want to go faster. They did 337 doors in a year. This was without paying for any leads. This is without doing paid advertising. In fact, this kind of growth is not possible with paid advertising. You can't, there's no way you could spend enough money on Google ads and Facebook ads and APM leads in order to have this type of growth. And the previous clients that I had shown their growth, like Mark and Brandon, if they were getting a bunch of crappy cold leads from APM and other sources, they would not have had the time to grow this business this way. It would have been impossible. So all these growth things that I'm showing you would have been impossible if you did what everyone else is trying to do in the property management industry. They needed a hack. They needed a way that they could be a startup, have a day job, and still be able to add doors quickly. And so they got an operator, hired a BDM, they broke the 1,000-door barrier, and that was phenomenal growth.
So they went from about 450 to over 1,000 in 2 years, and largely that was because operationally the company was running really smoothly. Like once they brought in like Brian as their operator, man, he just knew like what he got in, like he just really quickly like got into all of the DoorGrow stuff, and he was like, it was super clear to him. He's like, oh, these are the changes we need to make, and this is how, these are the people we need to hire, and this is how we need to structure our team, and this is how we do things. And he brought in Brad, he brought in like some support staff, and it was just like rocket fuel for them. So they went from about 450, so it was like 455 when they first joined, and they went from like 455 to over 1,000 in 2 years. And I know he's not on a slide, but we had another client who came in. It's Jeff. Jeff came in.
Yeah.
He had 151 doors when he started. 4 months later, and only 4 months, he had added some doors on his own. He restructured his team. He like
Not just restructured his team.
Oh, well, yeah, like it,
He replaced.
I'm going to call it a
team.
restructure. That's a restructure.
He replaced almost his entire
did.
team
He did replace almost everyone.
with
There was
DoorGrow
two
hiring.
people that he kept. And then like started adding doors, then completed an acquisition. So just in 4 months, he went from 151 doors to 420 doors.
So Sarah didn't say this, but one of Sarah's amazing talents is helping clients replace or restructure their team. Because a lot of you, how many of you think you need more processes or better processes in your business? By show of hands. I hear this every day. And when we dig into it, usually anyone that says, I need better processes, you really just need a better team. You cannot out-process bad team members. But if you have amazing team members, you can have shitty processes and you will still crush it. I'm just making sure that everybody understands this. Okay. So Sarah, with Jeff Garner, and man, I wish I had a slide added. I didn't have time to add that one this morning, but Jeff Garner, in the first couple months, Sarah helped him replace his entire team because she talked with him about his team, assessed his team. He thought he had a good team and realized after talking with Sarah, he did not have a great team or an A player team. So yeah.
And in the chat, so Dan, that's a great question too. I was a team of 1 or 2. I was by myself for a very, very long time. And then I added 1 part-time boots on the ground assistant. And I was doing that. I had 260 doors with myself and 1 part-time person. And I was also working part-time. So everybody's business is going to look different, because even if you get to 260 doors, your business might not look the way mine did, because you might want to structure it differently. The thing that I think most people forget is that you need to build the business around yourself and what you want, not the opposite. Don't like fit things into what you think the business should be like and what the business needs. You need to build the business around you. So I built my business around me. And it doesn't matter if you have a team of 1 and you're a solopreneur and you're doing everything by yourself. At some point, that's probably going to need to change, because working 18 hours a day won't be super fun. And if you have a team, like we have people who have teams of, 18, 20, 11. It just depends on, the size and the structure, but like, I love digging into that, because for me, it's like a puzzle piece, and I get to just figure out like, where do these pieces fit and how do we get them together? So the size of your team, will shift a little bit over time, but even if you're a team of 1 or 2 people, if you add, like if there's you and then you add 1 or 2 other people aside from you, we're still really, really focused on making sure that it's the right fit for you. Okay.
So I've got a bunch of stuff I want to cover. I'm going to go pretty quickly. And how many of you, by show of hands, or a lot of you, half of you have your cameras turned off. So comment in the chat real quick if you would like to get clarity on how to scale your business quickly, how to scale it quickly. You raise, I'm looking, hands up. All right, I see some people. Yeah, I see a yes in the chat from only Mimi wants to do it. So this is going to be for you, Mimi. All right. Okay, there's some yeses, of course. All right. All right. So I'm going to show you the secret. I'm going to show you the secret of something I created. This is after I've talked to thousands of property managers. I've been the fly on the wall in this industry for over a decade, seeing what works and what doesn't work. And so I want to help you avoid wasting your money, avoid wasting your time, because if you have not added 100 doors in the last year or the last 2 years or in the last 3 years, you haven't been adding at least 100 doors, then something is seriously wrong in your business. This is not a hard business to grow. And I know that might sound like crazy, but there's no scarcity. And I'm going to showcase this. All right. So after talking with thousands of businesses, I started to see patterns. I started to know, and I would teach these patterns to some degree. And eventually I formalized it and I built this DoorGrow code. Okay. This DoorGrow code. And this is a roadmap of how anyone at any door count can get to 1,000 doors in the next 5 years. Any of these clients that I showed you that broke the 100-door barrier, in the next 2 to 3 years, they could probably be at 1,000 doors, no sweat. It's absolutely doable. And because they now have the growth piece solved, and now they just need to figure out how to make things scalable. And that's the next step that we get into. All right.
That's your garage.
Yeah, it's a garage.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let's get into the DoorGrow code here. So here's the DoorGrow code. You're welcome to take a screenshot of this. We can, if you want to get this, just send me a DM on Facebook with the word code, and my team will get this to you, or on Instagram, and we can send you a PDF or an image of this, or I'll send it to you. So this is the map. This is the roadmap, and don't be deceived by the simplicity of this grid or this chart. This will show you how to scale your business. And so we've got the problems, we've got what you need to stop doing, because I've noticed patterns. I've noticed people doing the same stupid things at the same stages that they need to stop doing. And some of this might not make sense. Some of it might sound like fluffy woo-woo BS, like, oh, we lack purpose and culture. You cannot break 600 doors without good culture. And because otherwise, and if you don't have good culture or strong culture in the business, you have the wrong team, period. Right. And so this will tether you in the 200 to 400 door range. You'll get stuck. So I see a lot of people get stuck at this stage, 50 to 100 doors. I call this the solopreneur sand trap. And then I see a lot of people in these two stages, 200 to 400 doors, get stuck in what I call the second sand trap, or the team sand trap, where they think they have a good team and they think they need new processes. And so we have systems that we've created to help you scale past or bridge the gaps on these challenges so that you don't stay stuck. And if you haven't grown in the last year, you're stuck. It's time to be honest with yourself. If you knew better, you would do better and you would figure out how to do it. And if you're just comfortable and you don't want to grow, I would maybe challenge your thinking on that. And a lot of you might be like, I don't want to get to 1,000 doors. Let me tell you, 1,000 doors is infinitely easier than being in 200 to 400 doors. And you make a lot more money. Okay. And you have a lot more time. Right. So I want to help you have an easier business to run and help make your business scalable and help your business grow. So I'm not going to go into a ton of detail on this. I've done this on a bunch of previous calls and master classes that I've done in the past.
There's a training that we've done on just the DoorGrow code. So if anyone is wanting the training on this particular piece, let us know and we can get it to you.
So, but the main thing most of you are probably stuck on right now is you might just need to figure out how to grow your business, right? That's typically everybody up until maybe about 100 doors or maybe about 200 doors. Usually once you break the 100-door barrier, you've probably done it. If you've done it in somewhat of a healthy way, you're going to be getting into that second sand trap within a year or two, even if you don't get help from DoorGrow. So it'll be a little painful. It might take a little bit longer, but you'll break that, and then you'll kind of get stuck in that 200 to 400 door range. And at that stage, you really need 3 key systems, which are process, people, and planning. And most of you think you have these, but they're not great. And you don't. And the reason I know they're not great is because you are not quickly scaling through this stage. You're kind of stuck in the sand. And this stage, if you're doing things correctly, is very easy to break past, like very quickly. You can scale and add easily if you have a decent team, if you have a good BDM, or you are a good business development person or salesperson. Is business development manager is what BDM stands for. I get that question a lot. A good BDM can very easily part-time at 100 doors in a year. part-time. As a business owner, you could add 100 doors. I've shown you clients that have done it from startup, right? It's even easier if you have a full-time BDM. You could easily add 200 to 400 doors in a year if you have a full-time BDM, and they're a good salesperson. And no one breaks the 600 door barrier unless they have an amazing team. I haven't seen it yet. You have to have a really good team, and usually they get that team over a decade of Russian roulette, trial and error, failures in hiring, and they eventually get a good team. So and if they lost their whole team, they wouldn't know how to fix it. They wouldn't be able to quickly. We want to build a people system of hiring so that you can replace people quickly or vet people quickly, especially if you're doing acquisitions, stuff like that. And then we get into profit, purchase, protection. We're not going to talk about that stuff right now. But this is basically where you get into doing acquisitions and focusing on profitability and stuff like that. A lot of people I hear in this stage I hear a lot of people jump to profit. If you have a bad team and your goal becomes, I need to micromanage and KPI the shit out of my team members so that I make more money, then you are probably stuck with not as good of a team. These are the 3 biggest profit levers you can do. So get processes tight, get people tight, hiring tight, get your planning system tight. This is where you take a good team and you turn them into an amazing team, which is using our system called DoorGrow OS, which I might have some time to talk about if we have some time. But creating a really good accountability and planning system is way better than having micromanaging through KPIs and metrics and trying to squeeze more blood from your team members, right? And so if you are jumping and skipping to profit and you're trying to create a whole bunch of KPIs to squeeze from a semi-okay team, then you're missing the 3 biggest profit levers that wouldn't impact profit, and you don't need to go work with some profit coach or profit things or stuff like this. You're making a mistake. And when you're ready, we can get you to optimize your profit. And Sarah had over 60% profit margin. I guarantee that many of you are not even close to the profit levels that some of our clients are at. And some of that starts way back here when we fix in our rapid revamp, when we fix pricing, right? You cannot outgrow a bad pricing model. All right, by adding a whole bunch of doors. All right, so how are you? I want you to take temperature right now. This is really important because we can't get you somewhere else if you're not really being honest with yourself. So take quick temperature in your day-to-day. How are you feeling in your business? Do you wake up feeling stressed, frustrated, annoyed? It's heavily on your shoulders. Everything's up to me. Why won't my team just think for themselves? I hear these kind of things all the time. You feel like you're falling behind. Your to-do list gets bigger each day. It's not a to-do list, it's a to-die list, right? If anything's been on your to-do list for more than a month, you're probably not the person that should be doing it, especially if you have a team. And so we tend to hold on to things because we don't trust our team to do it because we don't have the right team. Or are you feeling excited, passionate, proud, supported by your team? You feel fulfillment, you feel accomplished, right? You deserve to feel this way. It's your business. You created this universe. That's your business. You deserve to feel this way. We talk about why we have a business. And so I want you to understand, first you have to figure out a why. If you want to grow and scale, this is the first big secret. You need to understand why you're doing this. And it's not to make money. If your goal is to make money, you probably have less money than my clients, right? You're probably making less money. You don't live to work, I work to live. This is a quote from the philosopher Noel Gallagher from the band Oasis, right? So our primary goal in business, let's talk about this real quick. Our primary goal is the 4 reasons. And this is my primary goal for you as a client. If you're my client, I want you to have these 4 things. This is why we start a business. We start a business, we think initially to make more money, but what we really want is what money gives us, right? And what we're hoping to get is fulfillment. We want to be doing something we enjoy. Otherwise, you might as well go get a job, right? You can be miserable somewhere else and not have to have the stress of knowing whether you're going to make cash flow or whatever, right? Fulfillment is number 1 primary goal. Your business should be giving you fulfillment in life. Otherwise, you've set up your business to be a taskmaster and a master over you, and you feel like a slave to it. The business should be serving you. It should be benefiting you. The next is freedom. You should feel like you have more and more freedom. And this is usually what money gives us, right? Money, if we make more and more money, we should be getting more fulfillment and more freedom. But a lot of you are making more money than you've ever made in the business, gross revenue, but you have less fulfillment and less freedom in your day-to-day, especially those of you in that second sand trap of 200 to 400 doors.
Yeah.
Once you have freedom of fulfillment, what we want next as entrepreneurs is we want contribution. We want to make a difference. We want to benefit other people. This is one of the greatest sources of joy that exists. This is what I get to experience in coaching clients. This is why I do what I do. And businesses exist to solve a real problem. That's contribution. If your business isn't creating real contribution, it's snake oil. It's taking value and not providing value. And nobody wants to do that. I mean, nobody decent, right? And so we want to have fulfillment, we want to have freedom, and we want to have contribution. And then support. So what I want you to understand is you can't have the first three without a good team. Because that means you're going to be wearing hats in the business that you don't want to be wearing. Some of you may hate the accounting hat. Some of you may hate the sales hat. Some of you may hate wearing the hat of operations and data entry and answering phone calls, right? Or dealing with tenants, right? It's your business. We want to create fulfillment, freedom, and contribution and solve real problems, but you need support in order to do that, which means you need an amazing team. These are the 4 key goals in having a business, why we start a business. And so is your business aligned with why you started it in the first place? If it's not, something needs to change, or you are allowing yourself to be miserable in order to make money. And you don't make as much money that way. Let me tell you, you make a lot more money when your business is aligned to give you these things. A lot more money, okay? There is a 5th reason, okay? The 5th reason is safety and certainty. We all want a little safety and certainty in our life, but entrepreneurs, this is the defining thing that makes you different than the people that work for you. And this doesn't make you better than them. This doesn't make them better than you. They're just different. And so I want you to understand that most people on the planet are not entrepreneurial. Most people on the planet do not value the 4 reasons of fulfillment, freedom, contribution, and support more than safety and certainty. Most people on the planet want safety and certainty first. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. They want to feel safe, and so they go get a job. They want to have safety and certainty first. And after they have that, they want to feel supported. They want to be able to make a difference. They want to have a sense of freedom, and they want fulfillment. How many of you would rather have freedom than safety? By show of hands. Okay. I am with the right people right now. Like, you are my tribe, right? And so I want you to understand, and this is the thing that everybody wants to buy from you. Nobody gives a shit about property management. Your target audience do not wake up in the morning and go, man, I'm excited to learn about property management and follow property managers on social media today. And I hope I learn more about property management. I'm going to watch some YouTube videos about it. They do not care about property management. They don't even want property management. What they want is peace of mind. They want safety and certainty. So this is a clue. That's the secret. You need to sell safety and certainty and peace of mind. Property management is the vehicle to get them there. No, if you go to a travel agent and they start talking all about the flight to Hawaii and how cool the flight is and how the flight's going to have all the best features and safety and all this stuff, they're probably not going to be as effective at closing the deal and getting you to buy this trip to Hawaii unless they're talking about Hawaii, right? You're the vehicle. You are the flight to Hawaii, right? For your clients. And so I want you to understand this. All right. So here's the default wrong way to grow. This is how most people initially grow their businesses. They have growth and success, and they have more stress and more work and more time. And they just burn until they burn out. The right way to grow is you can work less and it's less stressful and you make more and more revenue in the business. That's far more effective, right? So what do you need most? What does the business need most, and which is more important? Go ahead and comment in the chat. Let us know. What do you feel like you need most right now? What do you need most in your business? And I'm going to help you get clarity on this real quick. More leads. Okay, leads. People say sales solves all problems. Leads, 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 time. Okay, cool. Time for me. All right. Okay, leads, process. Okay, cool. All right. So and this, a lot of you will say leads, and you can assess this. Leads is the first of the 6 core functions that we have our clients assess in their business. And over time, this might change, right? If we ramp up leads significantly, it's going to cause some issues for you where you might need more team members to nurture these leads. You might need more people to convert or close the deal, or you might need to improve your processes here. Or once these first 3 are sales. So if you increase these first 3, what'll happen is then you need to shift to delivery and fulfillment. How many of you would rate on a scale of 1 to 5, lead generation as a 1? It's your weakest of all of these 6 functions. But delivery and fulfillment, you say, is at least a 4 or 5. Like you're good at like delivery, right? Yeah. This is a common problem. And I see lots of head nods, hand raises. Yes. What that tells me is you care more about helping people than doing what your business needs most, right? You are sacrificing. This is like, it's the equivalent of feeding one of your children while the other one starves. You need to get serious about lead gen, and that means you need to give up delivery and fulfillment being a 5. You cannot maintain a 5 while something else is being a 1. That's bad decision-making in your business. Does everybody understand this? Right? You are basically starving in one area because you refuse to allow one other area to not be perfect, right? And what I find with delivery and fulfillment is a lot of you, even if you know deep down it's a 3 right now, your clients probably still perceive it for the most part as a 4 or 5, right? But you know deep down on the inside. So you can't have this be weak and then be effective in sales. This can't be a 2, delivery and fulfillment, meaning you're shitty at property management and you know it, but you go out and sell and tell everybody that you're amazing, right? So all of this needs to be weighed in, but you need to, as a business owner, your job as CEO, your job as an owner of a company is you should be primarily focused on which of these functions is the weakest in the business right now, or you are making bad decision-making as a business owner. Does everybody get this? Yes. Okay. Which means you need to be willing to give up some of these 5s you're holding on to, because then I'll show a slide related to that. All right. So, so the solopreneur sand trap, people are caught in the cycle of suck. They have high churn rate. They're usually losing doors as often as they're getting them on. They have a lot of accidental investors, which are terrible. They can't afford their new team members. They have high operational cost, and they're spending too much time in the business. This might sound true for some of you. So here's the cycle of suck really quick. And the big secret here is don't take on crappy clients. Okay. You need to filter here. A lot of you try to filter tenants, but tenants will be crappy tenants even if they have an A-grade credit score and they're amazing. If you put them in a property, even if the property is amazing and newly remade and remodeled, but the owner pushes back on everything, you then become a shit shield for a slumlord. That is not your job. How many of you woke up this morning and said, I want to be a shit shield for a slumlord? Nobody's hand is going up, right? So you need to be pickier about the clients that you take on. Now, I know why you do it. I know why everybody takes on the crappy clients. How many of you have a client right now you know you should fire? You just can't do it. Yeah. So the reason you take on these crappy clients is because you are in a state of scarcity. And I want to help you understand there's no scarcity in this industry. I have a slide on that.
And I've done that too. Like back in my business, I took all kinds of clients that I shouldn't have taken in the beginning. I learned my lessons the hard way. But it's just funny, just this week, Kelly, who's in my old market, she has, I think, like only 30 something doors, and she is ready to like let go of her biggest client because he's just not a good fit. So she's already like seeing the patterns and getting out of them instead of saying, well, if I lose my biggest client, I'm not going to have any money and I'm not going to have any doors left. And it's really, really tempting to just hold on to this and be scared of letting it go. But she's already out of that mindset. And I really love seeing that for people.
Okay. So what I want you to understand is there's no scarcity, and I'm going to showcase this, and I'm going to show why you feel like there's scarcity in the industry, why you feel like all of you are competing and fighting with each other to get business, which is not reality. It's been artificially created by marketers in this industry that try to sell you internet marketing. And all of you are trying to do the same stupid stuff to grow your business, and you've created artificial scarcity in this industry. So here's a quick secret. I want you to understand this real fast. in picking the types of clients is something I coach clients on. These 4 numbers, when multiplied, equal your gross revenue in your business. So if you want to increase this, this tells you this is the secret to figure out who are the ideal clients to go after. And let me tell you, the ideal clients are easier to close, they're easier to get on, and they make you way more money. So the ideal clients are doing multiple deals, or you're adding multiple deals a month, right? Then if most of your deals are 1 door, you can increase this significantly by getting owners that have at least 2 or 4 whatever units, right? Or small multi-properties or whatever. But doors per deal is this next number. If you can increase on average this to a 2, you've doubled your revenue. If on your average is 1, right? Duration is the hidden blind spot for a lot of you. You focus on accidental investors. How long did it stay with you? Like a year, right? They couldn't sell the property. Oh, I need to rent it out, but they're so emotional about it. And that Timmy etched his height in the wall, like since he was like a baby, and they like want it to be maintained perfectly. They're super difficult versus the 10-year buy and hold owner. It's going to stay with you for at least a decade. That's a 10 times multiplier in revenue, right? That's significant. And then dollars, right? We have to money in this equation or it won't equal money, right? So making sure your pricing is effective. And most of you all are charging like 10% or less, or you're charging some sort of flat fee and you're not priced effectively in your market. You're not, because of your bad pricing, which everybody does in this industry, you are closing less deals more difficultly. And it feels like a race to the bottom in terms of price because you're all focused on the cheapest owners that are the most difficult to get on, that are at the end of the sales cycle, that are searching on the internet. So let me show you this. How many of you said you wanted more leads?
Most.
I want you to understand, if you just ask for leads, the evil genie of the universe, when you rub the magic lamp and say, I want more leads, will give you the shittiest, ugliest, worst leads on the planet, okay? And that's what marketers give you. The evil genie says, oh, you want more leads? Mwahaha, here you go. Here are 10 people that you're going to have to waste your time on 3 to 6 hours each trying to nurture them and convince them, and you might get one of them. That's how cold leads typically work. And that's all internet marketers can give you because they're not nurturing or creating warm leads. Warm leads would be like where they know you, trust you, and like you. Cold leads, they don't know you, trust you, or like you. You're a commodity to them. You're a commodity, and commodities are cheap, right? Warm leads are like word of mouth, referrals, etc., right? They have a higher close rate. This is how we're able to help clients grow faster with less time investment and less monetary investment in a shorter time period. And they're spending less time in the whole sales cycle per deal to close it. Is because we get them focusing more on warm leads. This is a big secret. I want you to understand this. Not all leads are equal. Stop just saying I need leads. Okay? You don't need more leads. In fact, if I gave you 100 cold leads right now, I would probably destroy most of your businesses if you started to focus on them. Because it's a distraction and it really hurts your business to focus on cold leads. Okay? Cold leads means you're spending a bunch of money on all this marketing, advertising, and you're not getting a huge return. We had one of our clients came to us. They had 1,300 units. They had a full-time BDM, full-time. They were spending money on a full-time BDM. They bought how many?
And I think a few sales setters.
Yeah, they had a sales setter. They had a full-time setter at least, and they purchased 322 leads from allpropertymanagement.com in the last year. 322, and they added 18 units from that 18 units. Okay, so I want you to understand that's not effective. Now they're so big, they're getting other stuff through warm leads, and they have word of mouth, and they have clients that do more deals and stuff like this. So they weren't paying attention to this. You do not need more cold leads.
No. And so I don't remember who it was. Sorry, I could go back in the chat and look, but someone asked a really good question, and they said, well, you know, like how many leads can a good BDM like handle on their own, right? If they're focusing on like a good BDM, a really good BDM, they should easily be able to add at least 100+ doors every year to the business.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
Ideally more, but 100 is like piece of cake. Right. So if you're working leads that have a 10% close rate and you're adding 100 doors, that's 1,000 leads just to get those 100 doors. So if you're focused instead on warmer leads that typically have somewhere between like an 80 and 90% close rate, then it's a lot less time, a lot less effort, a lot less money, a lot less energy. So if we're looking at a BDM, and someone else in the chat said, oh, well, like I need to get a BDM, but I need to have leads for the BDM to work. You don't. A great BDM will know how to generate leads. They'll know how to generate the business and implement a growth system so that they're able to just easily add business, because great salespeople, they don't need leads to work. Great salespeople aren't sitting there waiting for their phone to ring. They aren't sitting back on, geez, hope somebody calls me today. If not, I can't sell anything. If you have one of those, you do not have a good BDM.
Okay, so there's still quite a bit to cover. I have this blocked out for the next half hour. So those of you that can hang out with me, I'm going to share even more cool stuff. Fair? Okay. So, oops, let me go back to that. So the cold leads calculator real quick. If you are doing any sort of advertising, you're working with, I don't know, like marketing agencies like Geek or 4.5 or, you know, any of these companies, I want you to do this calculator and calculate your results. Like calculate based on the cold leads, how many deals did you get on in the last 3 months, it asks, and like, what are you spending? What's your time worth? All this. And it helps you calculate your acquisition costs. I've seen horrible things come through where people are getting their acquisition costs per deal. Like one client was spending $1,700 a month on SEO to Propertyware. And they, in the last 2 months, they had added 1 door that they could attribute to that. And so that means their acquisition cost was $3,400. Okay. So I want you to understand, and I'm not saying that you should never do internet marketing. I'm saying if you're struggling to get leads and grow right now, it's not the first thing you should do. It's not the first thing you should do. I view that like trying to take creatine or protein powder or something when you're trying to work out and you're not eating food and you're not sleeping, right? We need to do the foundational basics that are the most effective first, okay? All right, so I'm just gonna cover a problem with pay-per-click real quick. Pay-per-click, you're paying an agency, then they're optimizing it for clicks, then they get you a bunch of people that are unqualified that like to click. So you get a bunch of vendors, you get a bunch of garbage, and it's really difficult for them to optimize it effectively. And most of the companies that do this for the industry are doing it for your competitors too. They have multiple clients in the same city, and they're running an auction. They are your representative at an auction, and they're like, oh, well, I'm representing Fred over here, and I'm representing you, and this person too. And so they're like trying to vote, and so they're juggling all of you, and so you don't get all the leads. They're juggling it. And so that's the challenge with some agencies is I feel like that's unethical to do, is that they're willing to take on other clients to do an auction and represent you. And so what they do is they try and keep all of you small so they can make money off of all of you and you all get something. So if you're going to compete in an auction, you want somebody that's like all in on you for that market, right? And you have to have immediate follow-up on a cold lead from pay-per-click within the first 5 to 10 minutes. There's an 80% drop in conversion rates. So if you don't have immediate follow-up, like the lead comes through and your system doesn't automatically call them and you follow up, if you don't have that system in place, you're just like throwing money away, right? So let me explain. This slide should have came first. All right, so blue ocean versus red water. This is another big secret of why my clients are able to grow and scale quickly is because they understand this. Now, a lot of you think there's some scarcity. You feel like there's scarcity. If you need leads, you feel scarcity, which is not accurate. There's no scarcity in who you could be managing properties for. 70% are self-managing here in the US on average. There's tons of business out there, a lot. The secret is they're not looking on the internet. You can't find them through SEO, through pay-per-click, through content marketing, through social media marketing, or through pay-per-lead. They're not looking for you. Right? And they're the best clients because by the time they are at the end of the sales cycle and they're searching on the internet, they've moved through this whole cycle, right? So let's say there's the entire available potential market share that's out there, potential. The first competitor you really have is awareness. That's your biggest competitor right now that's preventing you from getting business, is they are not aware of property management. The average person on the street doesn't like know what a property manager is or what they do. It's not a common thing in the US. It's the people aren't super aware. And out of those that are aware, the next big competitor or problem that's filtering out you getting business is perception. How many of you think most of the property managers in your market suck? By show of hands, be honest. Yeah, I hear this from everybody. Why did you start your business? Because I had an investment property and all the other managers in my market sucked, so I had to do it myself, right? I hear this story all the time. Most property management companies suck. And I think a big reason why is most of them are doing the wrong things to grow. And the first thing, no one wakes up saying, I want to have a shitty business today. I want to provide poor customer service. But that's the first thing to go when you're not making effective cash flow and you're not generating revenue and the business isn't growing year after year. So if a business is stagnant, then it becomes painful. And the first thing to go, if you're spending then money on stuff that's not working and you're not getting a significant ROI, and your acquisition cost is really high because you're doing marketing, first thing to go usually is customer service. You can't afford great team members. You can't afford more team members. You're spending so much money on marketing. Some businesses are spending 30% or more of their revenue on trying to get clients. And that means very little profit margin for you, right? Which means you're not really enjoying what you're doing. So I want you to understand that these are your two biggest competitors. It's not the company down the street. It's all the companies having a bad perception, creating a bad perception in the industry. After people get past the awareness hurdle and the perception hurdle, then they're like, I need a property manager. Who do you got? And that's word of mouth. And the shitty scraps that fall off the word of mouth table of my clients, that's what everybody else is trying to pick up. Like my clients are able to capture people here, or here, or here, and here, and what's left over are searching on the internet. So these are the cheapest owners. They're the most price sensitive. And this has created an artificial race to the bottom in terms of pricing. And it's created this artificial sense of scarcity in the industry. And I believe internet marketers are the ones hurting the entire property management industry and making it worse for everyone. So I want you to understand this. In Australia, 80% use a property manager. It's like the opposite. 80% single-family residential use a professional to manage their rental properties. It's a household word there. Perception is different. Awareness is different, okay? So this is a big secret. If you understand this, you won't waste time doing the wrong things. Okay, and just to drive this home, this is search volume for property management. If you go to Google Trends, trends.google.com, and you search for property management, you backdate it to 2004 when they first had data. And this is just a decade of data. This is 10 years. You can see every year it spikes up during the summer and goes down. This is search volume for property management. I want you to understand in context, this search volume for property management is very small on Google, very small. This is it compared to real estate. It's way down in here at the bottom. This is it compared to the word hotel, or you can see, what else do I have here? Credit card or real estate, which is red, right? Search volume for property management is so small that compared to most keywords, it doesn't even look like it exists. I want you to understand how little search volume there is. There are not a lot of people looking. And most companies that have tons of money, thousands of doors, and they are spending more, they're not able to spend any more money to get any more deals. They're maxing out their ad budgets on Google. They're maxing out their ad budgets. They cannot spend any more money to get any more customers. So they're struggling to grow. Some are losing more doors than they're getting on right now. Because even though search volume hasn't increased, you know what's increased since then? Competition. All of you are doing this stuff. Everybody's now doing this stuff, right? And so the competition level has increased dramatically, but the pie hasn't gotten any bigger. Where's the pie? The pie is out in the blue ocean, right? There's no scarcity out here. So if you can figure out how to get clients out here, then you're going to crush it. All right. So I go through and destroy content in social media marketing. I sort of already mentioned that. Pay-per-lead services where they're giving you like exclusive leads. Basically, they're capturing the leads, and in some instances, then they get the leads and then they give it out to multiple companies, so they make a bunch of money, which means most people are losers and there's one person that's a winner, right? And this is a great business model for them. They make so much money off these leads, and guess what they're doing? They're doing the internet marketing. You might as well just try and do it yourself so that it's not going to all of your potential competitors, right? And they're charging you more. They're marking it up at each stage, right? Exclusive leads. There's some companies where they're like, we'll give you exclusive leads for your market. Well, they go right to you, but that means they're the middleman. They're getting a markup on this. So what we like to do at DoorGrow is something a little smarter, right? Who's heard the story of David and Goliath? All right, David and Goliath. All right. So the story is they came to David and they're like, hey, like, here's this problem. He's like, oh, I'll go fight this, uncircumcised Philistine, or whatever. He's like, oh, I'll fight Goliath, right? I'll go fight him. And David, they said, well, here's your armor, here's your weapons. He's like, no, I'm not going to put that on. If I do that, I will get my ass kicked. Now, a lot of you all are dumb David, right? You're like, I'm going to go do the same things that the $5,000 company in my market is doing, which is SEO, pay-per-click, content marketing, social media marketing, all this, right? Pay-per-lead services. I'm going to go do the same things that they are doing, and you're way smaller with way less ad budgets and don't have a full-time BDM maybe, and don't have a setter, and you don't have the resources, right? So you need a hack. David had a hack. He's like, I'm not going to wear all this clunky armor. I'm just going to grab my slingshot and fling a rock at this dude's head, nail him in the forehead, and then chop his head off, right? Which is what he did. You need a hack to compete with the big companies, right? These behemoth companies. And so I'm not going to go into super detail about all of this, but big companies have some problems. They have some flaws, and they're not doing the things that are most effective that you could easily be doing. Some of y'all maybe are part of franchises. I can't tell you how many franchises we've had in our program and how many I've talked to. They do not give you effective strategies for growth typically, and they charge you a whole bunch of money. And I think franchises are also one of the biggest things hurting the entire industry, which is really disheartening to me. But if you are in a franchise, we can help you. I've helped a lot of clients leave the franchise. I've helped a lot of clients grow and scale in spite of the franchise. And franchises have some inherent problems. You can just search my YouTube channel. I have a whole video on franchises. All right. So pipeline leaks. Here is one of the biggest leaks that you have in your business. This is why you don't need more leads. A lot of you think you need more leads, which means turning on the hose full blast. And I want you to understand, if you turn on the hose full blast, you waste, and you're doing the wrong things. You're wasting time, energy, focus, cash, and effort. These are the 5 currencies of business: time, energy, focus, cash, and effort. And that's what you're leaking, right? So a lot of people, I just need more leads. And I'm here to tell you that 90% of the time when somebody says, I just need more leads, it's not true when I dig into their business and I can see all the leaks that exist in their sales pipeline. So one of the first things we did with all these clients, we showed their results at the beginning, is we take them through a process we call the rapid revamp. And we spend 2 weeks on each of these things, getting their business dialed in to eliminate these big leaks. And they make more money, they close more deals more easily, and they are able to close them at a higher price point, and they're able to attract more warm business, right? Because we're getting rid of these. These are the 6 biggest leaks that prevent things from happening after you get a lead, or if you do have some lead flow. So a big leak is branding. Some of y'all are probably branded as a realty or a real estate company. I guarantee you are hemorrhaging and missing out on probably half the amount of deals and leads we could be getting you, because you have realty or real estate in your business name, and getting realtors to refer business to you. They don't want to refer business to you because you're a threat to them, right? You need a property management business, and there's a bunch of other mistakes people make when it comes to branding, using acronyms, use like generic names, etc. We take our clients through a process of rebranding their company. We're doing logo design. It's all included. We will throw in a website for free as part of this process. as we're doing this. And so that's another big leak, is having websites that are not built for conversion, not having a good review strategy, and not having at least 2 or 3 video testimonials for your business. A lot of you have been in business for years and you still don't even have a single video testimonial, right? And that's how we get the majority of our clients here at DoorGrow, is we have proof, right? Every single leak in this hose is a leak of trust. It's a leak of safety and certainty, which is the product you sell. It's the thing they want to buy from you. We need to eliminate these leaks if you want to close deals. Leads and deals happen at the speed of trust. If you're not getting deals on fast enough, you are not trustworthy enough as a company to the marketplace. And it's that simple. In fact, if I help clients shore up all of these trust leaks, sometimes without even turning on the hose any faster or doing any other lead gen, they start to attract twice as much business. They're closing twice as many deals. And it's infinitely less friction. It's like swimming upstream without these things being dialed in. You can rate each of these on a percentage basis from 0 to 100%. And if you don't feel like you're 100% on each of these, if you're like 50%, that's how many deals and leads you're losing at that stage in the process, 50%, right? So each of these could be costing you business. Pricing, one of the biggest leaks. I've yet to see a client come to me with optimized pricing. There are 3 different psychological types of buyers. You need a price point for each of them. And then we teach a model called 3-tier hybrid. And, but most of you are doing like one sort of thing, like a flat fee or a percentage. And so there's a more effective pricing model that will allow you to lower your operational costs. It'll allow you to be more competitive for the highest rent properties, and it'll allow you to be less competitive for the lowest rent properties. And that's 3-tier hybrid pricing model. And then, Emily, I don't think you need to be aggressive with fees. You don't have to fee people to death if your core pricing model is effective. I think people try to micromanage fees with a shitty pricing model. It's like trying to process to death your team members that are crappy. Okay, you're trying to feed to death your owners and tenants because you have a bad business model. All right, so purpose and trust. This is the most significant thing I could teach you in your business ever, is to help you get clarity on your purpose so that we can build the entire business around you. A lot of you don't have clarity of this, and you don't share this when you pitch, and so your pitch is not effective. So, just to share with you, my purpose is to inspire others to love true principles. That's why I do what I do, which means I love to learn stuff and I love to share what I'm learning. That's fun for me. I would do it for free for fun. I'm doing it for free for fun right now. And I love being able to learn, and my business feeds my addiction to learning. I get to shell out sometimes 6 figures annually just for coaches and mentors. I get to hire the best. And I then get to turn around and teach and share what I'm learning with clients. One of my mentors is a billionaire that runs a multi-billion-dollar company. I get to message him when I want to and hang out. I was on a call with him last night. I want to be able to deliver the best to my clients, and I love growth. I love learning. And so I guarantee if you don't have a coach, if you don't have accountability, if you aren't, if all you have is your team, then that says yes to you, then you are getting subpar results in your life. I guarantee it, right? You need to be reaching upward. You need somebody to support you. And we have the system for that. All right, so this is the rapid revamp in a nutshell: purpose, pricing, positioning, pitch, presence. I could go into clients that this one thing, each of these one things dramatically improved their business. It was this one thing that they were struggling with was their biggest leak, and then they crushed it. And you can go watch our case studies. I already gave you that on YouTube. I was going to go into the rapid revamp stuff in detail, but branding, let's see, all the stuff that we include in our program, optimizing you for local search results, our Gather Kudos system for getting better reviews, online reviews, which create warm leads and word of mouth, shoring up your website leaks. If you think you have a good website, sometimes this is a nice punch in the face for you, metaphorically. Scan this or go to doorgrow.com/quiz. Just write down doorgrow.com/quiz. Grade your website and test it. If you get lower than a B, you are hemorrhaging money. And especially if you're spending money to get people to your website, you're just hemorrhaging money. And so most websites fail at creating conversions. And Tara, no, I don't think we give out the pitch deck,
but we do.
but get on a call
this.
with us and we'll go over it all with
We
you.
do record this, so if you'd like to go back over some of these trainings, we go like in depth on.
Yeah,
So if you want any other trainings, let us know.
yeah, you get a website in our mastermind, in our program. There's a missed deals calculator. Some of you are like, I know I have leaks in these status. You might want to do this calculator to see what are you missing out on? What's the opportunity cost in not working with DoorGrow or not getting all these leaks shored up? How many deals are you missing out on? So once you've done gotten some clarity on some of the other stuff we just talked about, this can be really effective to kind of punch you in the gut and go, okay, I'm missing out on a lot of money. A lot of you are holding on to the moldy peanuts. You're unwilling to let go of what isn't working. You have something that's not working right now. If you need leads and you're not growing fast enough, you're holding on to something that isn't working. I don't know what it is. It could be, I want to keep focusing. I don't want to spend the time on this, or I don't know what to do, but I'm not willing to let go of what I'm doing now to go learn it. Or working with DoorGrow is too expensive, which is ridiculous. We will get you an ROI. But whatever it is, you don't be the monkey unwilling to let go of the monkey trap because you want to hold on to those moldy peanuts in the monkey trap. There's bananas nearby. Let's go bananas, everybody. All right. So recap why you can't grow. You take on the wrong doors. You charge too little. You don't have a reputation strategy in place. So you might not have amazing reviews or not enough. So you're not attracting warm leads that way, which is another growth strategy. You have poor branding, so no one remembers you, or they think you're a competitor, so they don't refer business to you or connect you to people. You have a less effective website, which means fewer conversions when they go check you out, or doesn't create enough trust. You don't have a solid sales process, so you don't have a good pitch. You don't know how to create trust, and you don't know your personal why and all the stuff that we teach in order to create connection. I was sharing our golden bridge, and our purpose at DoorGrow is to transform property management businesses and their business owners and their businesses. That's why we do what we do. Everyone on my team believes this. We want to help you win. And my why is fulfilled by the business why. It's not just to get money. But let me be clear. I like money. I don't hate money. How many of you don't hate money by show of hands? Cool. Great. You should run a business. Awesome. Okay. So I don't hate money either, but I don't do what I do because of money. I can make money doing a lot of different things. I chose to do what I get to do because it feeds me. It gives me my why, which means if you're not enjoying your business right now, it doesn't mean you need to quit doing property management. It just means you need to quit wearing the hats in the property management that you don't want to wear. Be the entrepreneur, not the property manager. Okay? We can get you there quickly. We have a process for getting you out of the things that you don't enjoy. There's too many leaks in your pipeline. You have no feedback or poor retention, which is part of the reputation strategy stuff. And you try to do it all yourself, so you're burning out. All right. I've already talked about the team sand traps, so we'll skip that. But here's those of you that have more doors, maybe 200 to 400 door range or higher. And maybe someday you're thinking, I might want to exit this or sell it, or I wonder what it's worth. The more valuable you are to your company, the less valuable your company is. Everybody should remember this. And usually as you have a team, this is what your org chart actually looks like. This is because your name is next to them in each team member in parentheses, because they come to you with every major question. They don't work and do things unless you throw a task at them to do it. That means you have the wrong team. And I'm not going to talk about hiring stuff right now. I'm not going to talk about the clone myth that startups always have. But Sarah had kind of mentioned this before. You can't build the right team around the wrong person. So if you are showing up as the wrong person in your business, it's you, right? Like Taylor Swift. I'm the problem, it's me, right? So you've shown up as the wrong person, and you've built the team around you. You're wearing the wrong hats and doing the wrong things, and you're not enjoying it. And then you go build a team. You would then by default have the wrong team. We got to get you clarity first. And in the rapid revamp, that's the purpose secret stuff. And that's where we get into purpose. Then you can have the right team, right? So I mentioned my why. Inspire others, love DoorGrow's why. And what's your why? What do you want? What's your purpose? My goal is to get you what you want. That's what we do. So, and we want to build your business so it's built to sell. Build your business like you're going to exit it one day, because I want you to exit all of the hats you don't enjoy wearing, even if you don't sell the company. So the process of building your business to sell is the same process to make your business something you don't have to or wouldn't even want to, because it's an asset that just makes you a lot of money. Okay. We have a lot of cool processes, a lot of cool systems we help people with in our higher tier of the mastermind. Cool software, cool tools, yeah, and we have a lot of cool results. And as far as growth strategies, I'll just mention some of these real quick. We have Trojan horse selling, which is product research interviews, where you're able to talk to investors and they don't realize that you're selling to them, but they're like think they're helping you, and then you're able to close deals with them. DoorGrow neighbor strategy, where you're getting neighboring property management companies to give you business. Because how many of you have gotten a phone call for an area that you don't cover and you just hung up on it? You said, nope, I don't manage that area. Okay, thanks, bye. Right? There's lots of gold floating around out there that's not refinable by you. And realtor intros, this is one of our top growth strategies, but most of you try to get referrals, which does not work. Realtor referrals is weak. Realtor intros is badass. And this is how one of my clients added 310 doors in a year from 5 or 6 real estate agents. But if he had tried to get referrals, he would have gotten probably 5. Let me tell you a little bit about our program. So the mastermind includes a lot of really cool stuff. You, depending on the level, the main level, most of you, because you need leads, would be the initial level, which is our light level of the mastermind. It includes the rapid revamp. It includes the growth accelerator. It includes all of that. And it is typically what we do is it's $4,000 for setup to get started. It's $4,000. Plus $997 a month. So the first grand is basically $5,000, and then it's $997
a month.
Yeah, the first month is $5,000.
Not the first grand is 5.
The first month is $5,000, and then it's $997 a month after that. Okay, and that covers you getting access to the rapid revamp, which is typically where people want to start, and then we get you into the growth strategies and the growth accelerator. The rapid revamp is 90 days. It takes about 2 weeks for each of the 6 major leagues, which comes out to about 90 days. And it's fast, and we get a lot of stuff done, and clients love it. So it's like starting a whole new company, and the right way. Okay, what else should I say?
Well, it also will include
DoorGrow
like
Academy.
Yes, of course, so like DoorGrow Academy, which like we built like so much content and videos and trainings in there. But if you decide that you want to, get a logo done, we do a professional logo design for you. We also will do your website for you. So we will build you an A-grade professional website.
You get Telegram access, where basically you can voice or text message me or my team members if you have questions or stuck on anything to support you. And we will be booking calls with you. We have a really great onboarding process to get you towards your goals as quick as possible from the beginning. You can do this. Like if you choose in and can keep those 3 commitments, there's that. I think there's a lot in the program. There's a lot of stuff included in the program, but that's kind of the crux of it for right now. I'm going to stop the recording, but if you're interested in this, go to DoorGrow.com and reach out to us, or send me a message on Facebook, or DM DoorGrow on Facebook or Instagram or anywhere else, and just let us know that you're ready to go. All right. So I'm going to stop the recording.